people saying hi online, so I'm going to be streaming it for a little bit here to kind of explain some things that everybody needs to know, including you all, and then I will explain an activity that everyone online can be able to carry out, as well as you all, so we'll explain that and then we'll work on it for a while and then come back and then debrief and find out what you learned. This will be an activity sort of coordinated with your squad, so if you all know what squad you're in, you found that group? Yeah. So it should be easy to find in Canvas, but if you have any questions, let me know. I haven't updated the names of the squads in Canvas yet, but I will. So, okay. Oh, good. Actually, my mic's already on. Put it on here. Okay. All right. Hello. Whoops, not that one. How about this one? All right. Okay. I heard somebody say something. That might have been from the music. Anyway. What's happening? Oh, there's a commercial playing on Spotify. Okay, cool. Great. We'll let that play through while I'm double checking something. Okay, good. Yeah, let's not do product placement in the class. So, hello, if you're watching on the stream, I see a lot of people saying hi, so good to see you all. I don't have my stream monitor up, so I don't know if that's working right, but I assume it is because people are saying hi, and it looks like it is. Okay, cool. Let me switch into my stream manager. Sorry, I have to have my multiple screens up here, so good. All right, so I wanted to stream a little bit today at the beginning and end of class, and this is the beginning of section 1, so this is what I'm doing right now. What I'm going to be doing today is talking and answering some questions or addressing some questions that several of you had after Monday, and then talking about a pretty important new change in our scheduling, and then a couple things about the big project. And then I have an activity that I'd like for you to work on with your squadron, with your squad, and so I want to explain that, let you work on it for a while, and then ask you to report what you find. So I will talk for a few minutes now, and then take a break, but I'll leave the stream running, and then I'll come back at 2:15 or so on camera and kind of organize a conversation about what you find out today. So we've got a few people here in person. What should I pull up on my screen? Maybe, no, we'll just do, we'll just look at this, I guess. Yeah, that works. Okay, so one big thing that I hope everyone saw, I sent an announcement earlier today with the word important in all caps because it's important, and it has to do with attendance and being in class in person. And the big thing is that after I sent out the survey, looked at the results of what people preferred, there is a mix of people who would prefer coming both Wednesday and Friday, or everyone coming Wednesday or everyone coming Friday, and only a very small number preferred to keep them separate as their top choice. So it was a small number overall, but only like one person, I think, preferred to keep it separate. So it seems to me that there is a trend that is the preference, that you all want to try to be together, or you don't mind being together all at once on Wednesdays or Fridays or both. And looking at the numbers of people who are not in an online-only cohort, we can all fit in the room safely according to the capacity. So from now on, if you are in a face-to-face cohort, you are allowed to come on Wednesdays or Fridays or both. Some of you strongly preferred the both option, so that's fine. And those of you here today, you're welcome to come again on Friday if you'd like. That's how it works. You may end up needing to sit somewhere different depending on who's here, and there might be someone who's prepared to sit where you are right now on Friday, but just play that by ear and kind of be flexible in terms of where you're sitting. That's fine. Related to that, I am going to start recording attendance. I'm not recording absence though. I don't know if that's a distinction that makes much difference to you, but in Canvas I can record that either way. But I just want to keep track of who's showing up, and so I know, so I can kind of start to see if someone's not showing up, or if someone is supposed to be here, or they're not, or if they're not checking in online. So I will be recording attendance if you attend face-to-face, and also checking to see if you're online during a stream, like many of you are signifying by saying hi right now. That's great. So I will record that as presence. If you are looking at this later, if you're an asynchronous person, that's okay too. I won't record you present, but I won't worry so much about you because I know there's only a few of you and I know who you are, and that should be fine. Okay, so those are the big things I want everyone to know about attendance. Do you have any questions about that right now? Let's see. Somebody just added me or mentioned me, I think. I thought I saw it pop up. Where is? It says I have a mention, but I can't find it. So, oh, there it is. It's a direct message. Okay, no worries. Okay, so I'll look at that later. But I see lots of you saying hi, so good to see you all. And if you have any questions about attendance, let me know. But the main thing that I should say is if you are in an online cohort, some of you you're saying that would be a temporary thing and you plan to come back face-to-face, make sure you check with me first. I'm pretty sure that'll still be fine, but check with me first. Also, make sure you attend the right time slot, so 1:40 or 2:50, not both of those times, and you need to attend the one that you're assigned to. So hopefully that's not too confusing. I think it's easier in the sense that you don't have to keep track of which cohort you're in. Just, if you feel like coming, come on in. Okay, so moving on, let me talk a little bit about the big project, because I think some people were a little confused, because I introduced two concepts on Monday, and that actually, they are not actually related to each other. So people, I think, thought that the big project was a group project, but that's not the idea. So a couple of things here. The big project is not a group project, unless you really want it to be, in which case you have to convince me that that's a good idea. It's happened before, it happens sometimes, it's fine. But the default, the assumption is that it's an individual project. I put you in squads for a different reason, but not to complete the big project together. Now, if you do choose that, I'm not going to stop you, but I'm also not pushing you towards that because I think it's not the way the assignment was really designed. So if you make sure you keep that clear. The big project squads are two separate concepts introduced on the same day, and that's the only thing they really have in common with each other. You'll be doing some things in coordination with your squad, and today will be an example of that, but you're not really working as a group to complete a project together, unless you really want to, unless you just sort of determine that you all are best friends now and you want to work together on this project, then great, that's fine, but it's not what I assume most people will do. Okay, so instead, your squad is there for support, discussion, and eventually peer review. So as you start working on your project, I want you to share your work in progress, and that's who you're sharing it with. That's a small group of people that will recognize your work, will see it in different stages, and that's your kind of go-to as a small group, a small sense of community on our Discord, which can be kind of big and confusing sometimes. So I want to make sure that you have a small group that you can connect with. So that's the idea. And you'll see an example of that today. I have an activity for you to work on with your squad, and that's the kind of thing that we may do at other points in the class. So does that make sense to everybody? Are you all good? Here, face-to-face, I'm seeing nodding face-to-face people, that's good. Online people, is that cool? Makes sense? So I'll just type a message here. I'm seeing some people typing. Okay, good. Online people, how's my audio, by the way? I actually brought my mic today, so I'm hoping it's a little better, although I don't have I'm using the, this thing, and it's a little bit muffly, but hopefully with the better mic, it sounds good. So, okay. Good, great, glad to hear it. Thanks, everyone. Okay, let's talk about big projects and kind of what you can do. Some people asked about this in terms of ideas they already had, if they were starting to, I think, trying to find out if their idea fit. And it probably fits. I mean, there is a proposal where if there's a real problem, I will let you know, but I almost never tell a student not to do a project. There are a couple of red flags or issues to be aware of, I'll mention those, but as long as it's something that is significantly digital at least one of these stages, the problem, the method, or the artifact that you end up creating, then it's fine with me as far as it being appropriate for the class. So in terms of finding a problem, I would just kind of encourage you to find one that really matters to you, that's something that you actually care about. That'll help you be motivated to produce a big project. As far as the method, I would just push you to try to find something that requires you to learn a new skill or a new tool so that you're actually challenging and pushing yourself. And as far as an artifact, I would just kind of push you to try to make something that actually other people can see and interact with and use, and that could actually make a difference towards solving the problem or addressing the question that you are raising in your project. So we'll look at some examples today, and hopefully you'll be able to talk about them in terms of whether they're successful or not and kind of what they're trying to do. And hopefully that'll help generate some ideas as well. The one thing that I would just kind of steer you away from, because sometimes students ask about this, this is not a communication methods class, and so one of the things you might do in those kinds of classes is a study where you put out a survey and you analyze the results. We can't really do that in this class because that's research on human subjects technically that requires IRB approval, and that's not something that we really have time to cover in this class, so that's the thing I would steer you away from. That said, there are ways to do a survey or to get input from users as long as you don't call it research. It's kind of a technicality, but if you call it journalism or storytelling or something like that, like a documentary, like let's say you want to do a documentary film, yes, you can interview people as long as you make it clear that you're not researching them as like gerbils in a maze or something. Like, as long as you're actually just having conversations with people and recording that, that's okay. Lots of people do things like that. But studying them as research objects is not allowed in this class, or at least you should not do that in this class. Other classes, yes, definitely, but not this one. Okay, so here's an activity for today. So I have a spreadsheet, and I'm going to explain what to do with it before I give you the link so that you're not jumping ahead too much. But I have lots of examples of digital projects. So these are not by former students. I do have a big list of those too, but this is a list of digital projects. These are the kinds of things that I think you might be inspired by or might be interested in doing. They address several different themes, several different kinds of problems that you might be interested in. They also take on several different formats that people are often interested, like apps, websites, Twitter bots, games, videos, different things that you might be interested in making. And for each of these, what I'm hoping we can generate is a bit of an analysis, pretty minimal at this point. We'll go deeper later probably, but see if you can think of these projects that are by total strangers as far as you know, and see if you can analyze it in terms of the same three things that I've given you to think about your projects. So what is the problem or question? What kind of thing are they making? And what tool or method did they use to make that? For each of these, I've organized them a bit, so each squad has 3 or 4 to choose from, and there are 3 or 4 people in each squad, so you should have a brief conversation and decide who's going to do which. And then you've got a link right here, so you should click the link, take a look at the project, and see what you think. So this is one called Boomer Email. I just found out about this one today. I thought it was kind of funny, so I added it here. So this is the website. Your goal would be to figure out who made this, what kind of thing it is, what issue are they addressing, and how did they make this. Okay, so whoever gets that one, you just fill that one in. Okay, I should say some of these may not work. So in some cases, you might be, instead of analyzing a project, you might need to do some research to find out about a project. You've all seen the Wayback Machine, hopefully, so you know how to look at old websites. That's a way to find out about it, find out about a project that isn't live anymore. Or you can do some research in Google News searches or Google Scholar searches maybe. Just see if you can find out things about what a thing used to be if in fact it's defunct. And let me know if it's defunct. I do try to keep things current here, but I know a few of these actually probably are not working anymore. I think several of the Twitter bots have stopped working, for example. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to share the link now in the Discord live stream channel, but it's also in the slideshow, which you don't have, but I will do this. So I'm going to put this in the live stream channel, so please don't share this. This is a link that lets anyone with a link edit this spreadsheet, and this could get pretty messy, so let's try to do our best to keep it tidy, but please don't share it beyond this class. So find your area of the spreadsheet. I see lots of people clicking on it or seem to be joining it, lots of anonymous animals on the spreadsheet, so that's great. And then just edit it directly, add the responsible party once you figure that out, problem, question, type of artifact, and we'll see what you find out. So yeah, hopefully that sounds good to everybody. This should be something you can do in about 15 minutes or so. So take that 15 minutes. I'll be here kind of checking on the people that are face-to-face in person. If you're online, feel free to pose a question. If you can't figure something out or what something is, then feel free to ask in Discord. Also, if you get done, and I haven't come back to you yet, you see I've got some empty slots. So you've got some places where if you, as let's say group 9, which is not here right now, but let's say squad 9, once they're done, if they figure out all 4 of these, then I would love to get some more examples of this. So is there anything like this that you've seen, any kind of digital project that you've heard about or that you can learn about in a few minutes and add to the list? I think it would be great to add some of those. So, it might be something you've heard about, something you find on one of these websites when you're looking for other things, but just feel free to add those if you do find them, but to add them in that row for your thing. Okay, everyone good on this? Yeah, each one in your squad, so only one person per project. That's the idea. Okay, cool. So I do have instructions here. So, oops, not here. Yeah, these are the instructions. So I'm going to leave this slide up, and maybe I'll turn the music back on, or I'll finish the McDonald's ad, and then have a little soundtrack, and then sort of stroll around and see how you all are doing. Oh, actually, I'm going to take roll while you all are working first. This is the Geico commercial. Applied Digital Studies brought to you by McDonald's and Geico today. So Gracie had a good question. How do you know what tool they used? You might have to guess sometimes. So that's okay, but sometimes there will be an about page that says here's what we did, or if you look at the source code, you might be able to see it that way. Just do your best, and I think in some cases it's probably not possible to determine exactly how they did what they did. Some of these projects are intentionally kind of anonymized in terms of who created them, so we just have to do our best to guess, and that's all I can ask. So do your best, see what you can figure out. Like if it's a programming kind of project, there might be a GitHub page where you could look at the source code if you really want to, but just do your best. Look for an about page if they have one. That usually explains what they do. Okay, so I'm going to switch this tab over here. Leave this up for a bit. There it goes. Okay, great. So I'm going to take off my mic, and I will be back in about 15 minutes.
Hey Spotifyers, click or tap the banner to listen to Baila Reggaeton, today's hottest reggaeton hits. Brought to you by your friends at Red Table Talk The Estefans, only on Facebook Watch.
Summer's a time to live a little hazy, a little wild. You've got the music covered, and Sierra Nevada's got the beer. Go hoppy with Hazy Little Thing, or slightly sour with Wild Little Thing. Complex beers brewed for simple enjoyment. Tap the banner to find Little Things near you, then cue up the next track. Please drink responsibly.
Pretzels.
Look. What, Chips?
Look.
Who's the new guy?
Fanta.
I think he's looking at me.
Pretzels, you got it twisted. He's looking at me.
Stop being salty, Chips. We both got a chance. Shh, he's coming over.
Ladies.
Hi.
And hello to you.
Back at you, handsome.
Fanta picked beef jerky?
Girl, we're gonna be here a while.
All right, so let me turn off the sounds. So it's about 2:15, and it looks like the spreadsheet is pretty well filled in. So I'm going to come back on screen here. Here I am, and talk about what you've got here. And I say talk about because it's hard for you. Like normally, I would ask you to share what you did, what you learned about. So please do that in Discord. Just share which one you found, especially if you think it was really interesting. But what I thought I'd do is work through the spreadsheet and add a little bit of context if I know it, or interpretation if there was some question about what you were seeing, just to be clear about things, just to help make sure that the information that we have here in the spreadsheet is as consistent as possible, And also, it looks like a few of you have added some new things, so I'm curious to see what you've added. So cool. Yeah, actually, it looks like just the Powerpuffs, you added a couple more Mischief projects, and I was interested in this one too, the Anti-Advertising Club. I've not had a chance to really look at it that much, but let's take a look at it now. So it's Anti-Advertising Club, Anti-Advertising Advertising Club. So it looks like it's TikTok based. Kill brands, get paid. Takedown of 9 evil brands, and we'll pay anyone who joins the fight. Okay, so you use their sounds on TikTok. You hit a view count threshold, and then they give you money. Okay, cool. So do any of you use TikTok? Like, have you used it? I don't know how it works. So like, how would I get their sounds into my TikTok? Like, do you have to download something, or is it just sort of? Okay. Oh, okay. I don't know. Yeah, I thought maybe TikTok licensed music and then it shows up there, but I don't know for sure. Maybe. Yeah, I can imagine them doing both because that would be a pretty good revenue stream for TikTok to license music like that.
Every popular sound on TikTok is always like ranked the top on Apple Music.
Mm-hmm.
And they stay up there for like months.
Yeah, I noticed like Fleetwood Mac is on the charts now because of something on TikTok. So cool, right? Good for them. So yeah, so I guess that this is a digital project in the sense that it's in the context of TikTok. The point of it seems to be evil companies, like they're wanting to punish them basically or diminish them in some way. And so that's your, yeah, well, as whoever put this in here, the awareness, I don't know if this is the anonymous camel, whoever you are, the idea that it's, I would say social media campaign because TikTok is social media, right, I guess. So it's, so I would say, well, I guess no, so that would be the, yeah, so I think for tool or method, I'm just going to edit this. I'm going to say, this is the campaign, I would think. And then the type of artifact is, what is it TikToks? Is that what you refer to, how you refer to a specific video? So I think that's what that is. So yeah, there you go. But yeah, really odd one, I think, and unusually specific. Others of theirs are, other projects by them are takedowns, like they're meant to be targeting a specific person or company, so that seems consistent. So okay, let's look at a few more here. Yeah, a few more mischief ones. I added these actually today because, yeah, like I was saying, some of the mischief stuff is really weird and not necessarily fun, but a lot of it is. Yeah, this one is, so this is like a description of what they're doing. I would say the problem or question is really the medical bills and how outrageously expensive medical care is in the United States. So I would phrase that a little differently probably, but I think you've got the right idea. It is a website. I think the interactivity part of it is, it's more of a performance art piece, I would think than an interactive thing, but it's a website, definitely. Yeah, and then this one, the problem of misinformation through email chains. It's just something that I don't really think about that much. I don't get those emails as much from my in-laws or relatives like as I used to, I guess. But it's something that you see on Facebook, I guess. But the idea of like the email chain forward thing is a real thing, and so this is a project that wants to help people be aware of it, and but it does that by actually like sharing it. Like it sort of makes the problem worse. So that's kind of the joke of it. Okay, let's take a look at a few more. This is which one is this? The Breaking the Black Box. Yeah, this is a good one. Several of those tools, though, in that article don't work anymore just because of the changes to Facebook, I think. But as a problem, it was interested in algorithms and machine bias in journalism. And so if you look at it, it's actually pretty cool what they were trying to do. And again, I don't know if this totally works, but one of the things that used to work in here was pretty cool. Yeah, so they do, I mean, these are things that like the Social Dilemma movie was kind of talking about. Like this is an example of how, I think I was telling you all, one of my takes on that film is like, these are things that people have been talking about for years. And this is an example. This is a 4-year-old project. So this is the kind of thing that people, I think, should know about Facebook, or I kind of thought people did know about Facebook. But let's take a look. This one is pretty interesting. If it works. Yeah, I don't know if this one works anymore, but it was noting how machine learning would give people different versions of a story's headline and then kind of figure out which one more people reacted to and then change the headline based on people's reactions to it in real time. So you or I could look at the same article and see a different headline, and it would, based on what it knows about us and our tendency to look at it, it would learn from that and then try to give each of us a better headline based on that. And they had a tool that would let you see that happen in real time, but I don't think it works anymore. They have a Twitter bot where you can see it. Let's see if the Twitter bot might still be working. No, I don't think the Twitter bot's working anymore, but pretty interesting idea. And this one, like the Facebook one, actually, it did something that like Google actually makes visible if you look at Google's ads, the settings that Google has for your ads, like you can actually customize it. Facebook, I don't know, they might do that on Facebook now, but this would, you would log into Facebook with this tool, and then it would scrape your profile and then report back to you what Facebook thinks you're interested in. So one of the things I remember it told me I was interested in was the mineral alum, and I am not interested in the mineral alum. I don't even know what that is, but I've been to Alum Springs. I had been to Alum Springs recently, and so it was like, oh, you must be interested in alum. Here's some ads about alum, and I don't even know what that is or what it's used for. So it was interesting. Okay, so what else have we got? This one is Afro-Virginia. Let's see. It is basically a website, so let's take a look at it. Cool. So, oh yeah, Black Heritage Sites, right? Yeah, interesting. So it is a website, but it's also as you see, task force. Like its goal is to try to record and preserve and tell the stories of specific places of historic importance. And I believe they're a campaign to try to get more of these historical markers. So let's see if there's any around here. Well, the map's not loading. But I feel like that looks like we might be around there. I don't know, it's not loading, but hopefully you see the idea. Then the idea is you click on a specific thing and then you can learn about a specific place. So the digital part of this is, there's a physical part of this where they're trying to get these installed or they're trying to record these, but then the digital part is here's a website where you can learn about these places without having to go to them. By having these all together in one place helps you understand the breadth and depth of African American history in Virginia. So that's pretty cool. So this is a pretty large scale, what I would call digital humanities or public humanities project. Yeah, Time Newer Romans is a humorous idea where it's a version of the font Times New Roman, and it's slightly wider. I think, this is a pretty lengthy explanation of its justification as a project, but I think it's basically that the project is just making it possible for you to write fewer words and reach your page count anyway. So it's kind of a bit of digital activism. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, let's take a look at Digital Harlem. This is another pretty cool one. If it still works. Oh yeah, great. Cool, okay, so this is a map on one hand, and then it's a map that's overlaid with documents specific to locations. And so I think the idea is you can zoom in on a specific area and learn about documents related to that area. So that might include, actually you have to click on a map first. So these are church locations, sports events, and arrests. That's probably a bigger one, nightlife. And the idea of this, I think, is to connect a different time to a specific place. So if you know the layout or the geography of Harlem, then you can connect specific events to a specific place. And I think it's a really cool way to understand history, to think about like what happened exactly here. And Fredericksburg is a very rich area for that kind of thing. And in fact, this tool was made, I think, with, what is this made with? Oh no, it's its own tool. But there is a tool called Neatline that does this kind of thing, and the example that they use to advertise what Neatline does is Fredericksburg, and they show it's a project made at UVA, but they use Fredericksburg, the Battle of Fredericksburg, to show how you can overlay a map with time-keyed events and then see how things progress throughout that the Battle of Fredericksburg. It's pretty interesting. But this is tying that into history of Harlem and connecting to specific documents. So I think the idea is you can click on a thing, and then it's a little crowded here. Let's see if I can, yeah. Then you can learn about a specific person who appears in the historical record. And you can see it's cross-referenced with other things. So yeah, pretty interesting. It's a way to make what used to be a stack of papers visible and legible and something you can navigate. So I think that's really valuable. Okay, cool. So Darlene looked at Unmanned by Mole Industria. So yeah, anything else to add about that? And I'll just translate for the stream.
No, I played it a little bit.
Good.
It was super interesting because it showed the different sides of each soldier, like his at home life and then his life at work. So
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting. You finish it.
Yeah, you should finish it. It's good, you know. But I'm glad you really did kind of get to what I think is the key question of this game. Some people view it differently. I think it is also in some ways about the internal conflicts of just masculinity, and the title there, Unmanned, is a pun in several ways. Like it's talking about unmanned warfare. Like the pilot, the character is a pilot who flies an unmanned vehicle. Also, he is dealing with different issues of masculinity with different relationships that you can play out different ways depending on your choices in the conversations, right? So he's trying to be a good father, trying to be an okay husband, kind of flirting with his coworker, like different ways that his gender is really kind of on display. He has to shave. There's a shaving mini game. So there's things like that where it's very much about masculinity, I think, but presenting it as an internally conflicted state, just like being a soldier is. So I think it's a really interesting artistic piece. But that's done with Adobe Flash, and that is a platform that is fascinating, very influential in terms of internet and web history, but will not work pretty soon. So that's something we can't do anymore. But if you are interested in animated visual style games, there are platforms that will continue to work using HTML5. But yeah, Flash itself is going away. It's a fun language. I liked learning it. I've learned it many years ago, but no reason to learn it anymore. Cool. So let's see. I have not actually been keeping an eye on. Okay, so Emily had some thoughts about Anti-Ad Club, and so you, I guess, added that. Great. To take down various companies for various reasons. I didn't actually see which companies are getting taken down. I assume TikTok itself is one of the targets. But it looks like Alex S. is typing, so I'll let her finish her thought. Yeah, hopefully this was helpful to see the kinds of things out there. So you learned a little bit about one, but take a look at some of the others. Like get a sense of what these are, and they really run the range. Like some of these are almost like joke projects, like by Mischief. Some of these are really elaborate artistic projects, like Unmanned, which is made by basically one person. Others of these are group projects, things that had a research grant behind them, and there's a website, and there's lots of money behind it. So these run the range in terms of scope, but as far as their basic disposition as digital projects, I think it's pretty good. Like I think that's a pretty good range of things. So yeah, this is a good resource here to look through as you're trying to find inspiration for your own ideas. So cool. So nice. Okay, so Alex looked into Afro-Virginia, and she notes on Discord that there's an indigenous acknowledgement, which is interesting. Let's take a look at it. I think I still have it up. Yeah. Indigenous acknowledgement. Oh, cool. Okay. So yeah, that's good. That's something I see a lot in for research, like even universities in Canada, especially when they acknowledge Indigenous people or First Peoples. You don't see it as often in Virginia, so that's cool. And I'm not sure what the scope of the Monacan Nation is, but we might be on their lands as well. But yeah, cool, they have a website. So I'll learn more about that later, but yeah, I'm interested to see. I mean, obviously we are on indigenous land in Fredericksburg. Okay, great, so thanks for adding that. All right, everyone, so that was it for today. That was just learning about some projects. We'll continue to learn about projects and how to organize them on Friday. If you haven't already done so, make sure you look at the proposal assignment page because it's very detailed and lengthy. So look through that so that if you have questions about it, you can ask them and I can try to answer them in class. Again, if you are a face-to-face person, you are welcome to come again on Friday if you're here right now, or if you are normally coming on Friday, you're welcome to come on Friday, and then Wednesdays and Fridays going forward if you feel like it, but either or is fine. Okay, well, I'll wrap up the stream. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all later.